Thanks for stopping by at Twisted Art Designs. I appreciate all of my subscribers. If you are new to my channel, please like, subscribe, share, leave a comment on this video. Anything that you do in that regard is going to help move my channel forward and allow it to be seen by more people. I'm not monetized, but I would like to share this with as many people as possible. So thank you, and let's get started with our fun project today. And in fact, my positive word of the day is just that. The word of the day is fun. So how can you find ways to have fun today? Most days are about going to work, taking care of the house, the kids, the spouses, lots of obligations and chores and things. So we have to carve out a little time each day for fun. Fun keeps us positive. It keeps us happy. So find something that is fun. Either play a game, board games and things with your family, or it's fun to go take a walk out in nature, or go walk your dog, or play with your pets. It's fun to create arts and craft projects. So find a way today to incorporate fun into your day, to give it just even a few moments of positivity, and fun will bring some peace to your heart. So now let's get started with this video, and I'm so excited to announce that I have a new FaceUps sheet. So if you're new to my channel and you haven't seen them yet, I love creating what I call face-up collage sheets. They're in the Etsy shop, and there are several different sheets for you to purchase if you're interested. I keep them as inexpensive as possible so that everybody can play and enjoy. And what they are for is to create a collage body using magazine images or book images or your own drawing of a body, anything you want to do to create a body, and then you add the fun faces to make a fun art journal page. So this one, I am calling this the steampunk face-ups. So check these out. They're a steampunk theme, but I'm calling this video not just steampunk face-ups because I love that girl. She's so cute with her attitude, smoking a cigar. They each have, she's got poison bottle in her hair and a gear earring. And so they are steampunk themed, but really these would create some really cute characters also in your art journal, your regular art journals. So I'm calling them steampunk, but they're not just for steampunk. So I'm going to show you a page that I create with them that is not steampunk, and then I'm going to show you my steampunk journal that I'm working on. So this is my art journal where I've used face-ups, and I make characters out of magazine bodies. You can tell that that's a photograph body, and I put cute things like shoelaces and all kinds of embellishment things on it, but then I use the face-up faces to create some really fun art journal pages. So that's what I'm going to do with the newest set that I've created, and this is one of my favorites. I love this one with the king and queen. So that's from one of my previous sets. So I'll have those linked in the description box along with the new set too, if you're interested in checking out the ones I've created in the past. So the first thing you're going to do is to gather all your magazines that you like to cut up for collage. And a lot of times people ask me, where do you get your images from? And for me, it is all over the place. I have gotten them from yard sales, thrift stores, doctor's offices. Next time you're in your doctor's office, go to the girl up front and say, hey, do you have the magazines that you guys rotate for the waiting room? Because one time a doctor's office gave me a huge box filled with magazines that they were getting ready to throw away that came out of the waiting room. So for wild fashion, of course, I like things like Vogue, Mademoiselle, GQ, all kinds of things like that for the bodies and things. And what I usually like to do is to go through them, cut out the images just around it loosely, and if it's a body that I know I'm going to use as a body, I've put it in a file folder labeled bodies. If it's just faces and heads, then I have a folder for faces and heads. Some are just fashion, some are just shoes, and it's just something that I just collect, and that way when I'm ready to do a fun page, I can sort through and look for something fun to use. Now this one, this would be really cool. Just right off the bat, look at this neat ad. Those would make some really cool steampunk girls or just crazy characters. And I have no idea what magazine this came from, but look at that one. That would be perfect. So there's a lot of these really neat ones. And so let me go ahead and fussy cut out the faces from the FaceUps and show you what they'd look like with the bodies. But then I also like to collage and put different things together. So, you know, maybe the bottom half of a girl with a different top half of somebody else. But let's check it out and see what we can find in the pile. When I print the collage sheet, I always print 2. And the reason for that is then you can get super creative. So I'm using the girl that's smoking the cigar, and I cut her out twice, and I'm going to cut those goggles out on her hat a second time, pop them up on this pair, and I think I'm going to just, where the goggles are underneath the hat, just cut a little slit with my X-Acto knife, stick the other pair behind, pop them up, glue them down on the edges, and then I'm going to have a real 3-dimensional look on this girl. So it's those kind of fun things where you can play around. I'm also going to add some glossy accents to the lenses on the goggles that are on top, because then they're going to look like lenses. And I'll use some white chalk to make the smoke coming out of her cigar once I get her on a page. Things like that. This cool guy here, he looks great by himself, but then so does this guy. He's really fun. But if you want his hat on this guy, all you'd have to do is trim out his hat and you could put it on this guy. So the hat is interchangeable and can be put on this guy, or you could put it on this girl and tilt it and tuck it behind that mechanical looking butterfly, so she'd have a top hat on. So it's really interchangeable and you can play around with it and be creative and make it your own. So if I were to take this magazine image, okay, the other thing I like to talk about, if you've never seen my videos before on making face-up characters, I never look at the size of the body. I never worry about if it's too big, too small, because I think playing with your dimensions like that are fun. Her body being small and her head being kind of big, to me, is really fun. It makes the quirky character in your art journal. This body's a little bit bigger, so she's a little bit more proportionate, but to me, doesn't have to be proportionate. A lot of my characters, the bodies are tiny and the face-ups are kind of big, and I love that. I think that's just so much fun in an art journal. So see, look at, here's this cool girl here, and if I put this face-up smoking a cigar on her, look at that. How fun. I love her. She's so fun and dynamic. So I'll have to decide which body she looks best on, or whether or not I want to collage a body, but I am going to pop up her goggles and make them more realistic. And her hat, same thing. You could cut that hat off this head and you could put that hat on any of the characters. So you could put the hat on, cut this hat off of this guy and put this hat on this guy. So he'd have those little glasses and this blue hat with the goggles. You could put it on her. She's already got a hat. He's already got a hat. She's kind of cool as she is, but it's interchangeable where you could put the hats from these two, or even this one, cut those hats off and move them around and put them on different characters. You can print out your sheet. Once you download it, you can print it out as many times as you want. So be creative and collage these character pieces to make them all different. So this is what I did with this. I cut this out, fussy cut it out, and then I made a little slit just at the top of the hat where the two glasses go. And off the second copy, I cut out the glasses. And instead of cutting them right along the edge, I left a little tab. That little tabby could go right behind there. It would tuck right in, and you wouldn't even know it because it would line right back up. Check that out. How cool is that? And then I'm just going to use pop dots behind them to make them pop, and then they'll look 3-dimensional. So I like all three of these. I'm going to fussy cut them out because I think I want to use these two in the steampunk book, and I like this girl here. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to trim out that hat. I'm going to put it on this. This is the girl where I used the second set of goggles and I just trimmed her out. I'm going to put her head on this doll. I still love her sassiness, smoking her cigar in that cute, with that cute VIP dress. It's got VIP access on her neck tag, and then her hat would look great on here on her. So I'm going to add her hat and collage those together. I think that will be super fun. So again, this doesn't have to be steampunk. That is going to be a really fun girl to put in my art journal. And I removed her hat, so she no longer has her hat with goggles. There are some other fun magazines that have good fashion stuff. Allure, Jane. These art doll magazines are 21 years old. This is from 2003, and so is this one. But look at you. If you go through an art doll book, you're going to find some really fun and funky characters that, even if you wanted something crazy like that on your art journal page, look how cool that looks with a face-up girl on it. And you could put a really cool title on your page. So look for things like this, like on eBay. You can find them inexpensively on eBay because it's so old. See, and look at those cool bodies and things that you could create. And add arms from a magazine girl, and do cardstock and do a neck, and then add a head to it. So check those out, because Art Doll Quarterly has a lot of really fun and unique stuff in it for creating characters and doing collage. So I fussy cut out this body. I really like her a lot. And then I took the head and added that girl's hat. Looks so cute. And I can put it right here on her, and now look at that cute character. So I can add her head, and look at how sassy and cute she is in her gorgeous little outfit with her hat. And she's smoking her cigar. She's got sass. I love it. So that's going to be great on an art journal page, and I've got an idea for an art journal page for this. So for this video, I'm focusing on the not just steampunk side of this. So these are using these images on the new FaceUp sheet for your art journal and making them not be steampunk style. Look at this cute ad for Saks Fifth Avenue with this girl in their floral dress and sandals. That is such a cute ad. I don't know what magazine this came out of. I have no idea. But look at how cute if I were to take this girl from the kit and put her on this. Look how cute that is. Such a cute image. And she's got her face up, her hand up, she's holding onto the edge of her hat. And if I cut around those fingers, I can have her holding onto her earring. And that would be just darling. And then I think I would leave the clock as is, and then where this poison bottle is, to make it not so steampunk, I would just trim into that with my X-Acto knife and tuck in a flower and have a big flower. Who cares if she's got a pocket watch on her head? It's still adorable, and look at how cute that's going to be. So that's the image I'm going to use for this one, and they're going to be on an art journal page. And if you haven't seen my other videos on how I use FaceUps and use magazine images to create the paper doll, this is something that I always do when I'm going to fussy cut out the image. I always leave almost like a tab to create a neck to be able to put the face up girl. So if you were to trim this out right along the outfit, you wouldn't have a place to put the head. So by leaving that long magazine tab, you've got a nice place to add the head in any position you want, and it makes a neck for her. So always leave a portion of it there so that you'll have something to glue this to and create a neck that goes with the face up. And this is what my girl looks like with, I cut her hand, and you can put her earring here. So look what she looks like holding onto her earring. So cute, looks great, would be really cute in a regular art journal. And then if you didn't want her hair to be this grayish color that I did, you could change it up. So that's the other fun thing about those printables is print them on cardstock, print them on mixed media paper, whatever you've got, and then use your art supplies you have to change them up. So you could come in here and instead of being grayish hair, look, I can come in and color it and make it a brownish dirty blonde. And I could use colored pencils, anything you want. So you can change them up. So look how different she looks. This was using an Awoohoo brush tip alcohol marker, and let's see, what color is that? Chamois. And I changed her hair from gray to this color, and coloring over it, because I had already shaded it, it is already pre-shaded for you, so that's cool. You can change it to a different color. So I cut her watch chain a little shorter, and then I put a slit with an X-Acto knife and a cutting mat. I could put a slit behind the clock to cover up that poison bottle. I had this image, it was just from a magazine, of some flowers. I cut out a flower with a leaf, and I'm going to tuck that behind here and glue it into place, and look how cute that makes this look. So now it doesn't look like it's a steampunk girl, she's just a cute, fun, and funky character ready to go in my art journal. So this just gives you some ideas of how to collage, change things up a little bit. I could change her eye color. I like the blue because it goes with the blue in her dress, so I'll leave that the same. And I've got two characters now to use on an art journal page that aren't steampunk, they're just cute, funky characters. So what I'm doing with the watch face, I'm taking some Ranger Glossy Accents, and it's clear, and I just put it over that watch face, and now look at it. It looks like a glass watch crystal. I love adding those kind of details to these characters. For my background, I just took my compass and I made circles. So I made a big circle and then other circles that overlap, that go half page on the sides and at the top. And now I'm just going to paint them with acrylic paint and use my little tool that I love to paint. So I'm going to do the background, and next I'm going to take a Uniposca pen in a 7mm bullet, so it's like a big fat dot bullet tip, and I'm going to go around and do all the lines around the circles. And I'm just going to follow the line as best I can and make them as straight as I can. They don't have to be perfect. That's the fun part of this type of an art journal, is it doesn't have to be perfect, and once you add things like Zentangle patterns, you don't even notice if it's not perfect. And when you're doing your lines, it's best to pull towards you, so turn your book if you have to connect this line, and then pull your pen towards you, but see how easy you can make that half circle, and it looks really nice. So now I've got the black lines around. I've laid out my girls to see where they're going to go, and I'm going to do some Zentangle patterns in these shapes, and maybe in some of the background as well, using various sizes of paint pens. So here's how it looks with my girls. I put them down with matte gel medium, and now I'm ready to do some lettering on the page. And I know a lot of people ask about lettering. I have a saying I want to put on the page, and I am going to lay it out with pencil. I don't always do that. Sometimes I just freehand it, but I will put it on with pencil. So the first part of my saying, I'm going to do never compromise who you are. And I'm going to put it in this space here. And I like to do my lettering kind of big and little. I vary up the sizes of the letters. And so the word compromise I want to stand out, and I'm going to have it go along this circle. So I'm going to put the word never up here. I'm just going to pencil it in. Up here, and then the word compromise is going to go here, and it's going to be bigger. And I'm going to make the letters get bigger and bigger too. Okay, so what I'm doing is following the curve of that circle. I'm making kind of tall, skinny letters so it'll all fit. You just kind of have to play around with it, and I think that's the very, very fun part. That's my favorite part of these art journals, is doing the lettering. Okay, let me hold it up so you can see that. So see, the word compromise is really big, and it follows that circle. Kind of hard to see it on camera until I do it in a paint pen. And then I'm going to put down here, going straight across, who you are. Okay, let me do that in pen so you can see it a little bit better. So when I do lettering, I like to just make the first pass just plain like that. And then I like to come back in, and you can put a dot at the end, or you can put a little flourish. And then I like one side heavier like this. And so I'll do the basic letter, and then I come back around and make, if it's heavy, it's always going to be heavy. If you always do it on the left, then all the letters will be heavy on the left. You never vary that because it'll look awkward. So that's what I do, is I just start using a paint pen and going over the letters, and then adding a flourish at the bottom of each stroke. It's either a swerve or a block or a dot. And all the left sides are heavy. And I'm pulling my strokes towards me. I say that a lot, but if you are doing lettering, see how I'm pulling towards me as I'm drawing them? They come out so much smoother if you pull towards you. So here's what it looks like. Never compromise who you are. So that's the first part. And then in this great big circle, I'm going to put, be your authentic, sassy self. So to lay that out, I want the S-E-L-F, self, to be across here. So I'm going to do that first. And I just did that in just straight block lettering. And I'm going to come back and thicken it up and make it look different, but that's where I wanted to start. So I want to put, be your authentic, sassy self. So I want sassy in here, authentic here, and be your here. So that's how I lay it out, is I kind of look at it to see where I want those words to stand out, and I want authentic and sassy to stand out right here. So they're going to be big and bold and fancy and in different colors than just plain black, and it leaves just enough room up here to put be and your. So here's what I did for the base letters. So the B, I did your in stretch lettering, those in black. I did authentic in bright, bright, bright pink block letters, sassy in orange in flourished letters, and self in block. And they're just basic. So I'm going to go back and thicken them up and add some line weight and add some shadows and things to them and really make that look cool. And then you can add fun things like putting a border all the way around. So I did my black letters a little heavier, and now I'm taking a gravy acrylic marker. They've got a really nice fine point, And I'll have a link in the description box for these gravy pens. And I'm going around these letters, and I'm not going right next to it. I'm leaving a little bit of a space, just a little 1/16 inch space around, so you still see the background. You can go right up to them, but I think it's fun to leave a little space. But I'm going to go around it a couple of times just to add a little border around each letter, and then see how that makes them pop. So I'm taking a red pen and I'm just putting in a little shadow on the left side of the letters, like this, going in and make them uniform, that they're always on the same side so that it really does look like a shadow. And if you're nervous about doing this right on your art journal pages, then grab some notebook paper and your pens and play around on notebook paper. Draw some funky letters and then try practicing shading them like this, doing the little cast shadow on one side. Because if you do it over and over and over on notebook paper, you'll get the hang of it, and then you won't be nervous about doing it on your art journal page, if you're afraid you'll make a mistake. So I just come in here, and on those left sides, I'm just doing a little bit of a red shadow. That just makes your letters look a little dimensional. And I think I'm going to take a Tombow mono drawing pen. This is a size 3, and I'm going to go around and draw around that letter for the word sassy. I think it's going to make it stand out even more. So you can do those kind of things as well with, once you get them on in paint pen, then trace around them and give them a border, and this will be nice and fine. Those Tombow mono liners are awesome for that, but look at that. So that's what it looks like with black around it, and I like it a lot. It's going to make those letters stand out even more. So I like to take a neo color too. This is cobalt blue, middle cobalt blue, and I'm going to just come along here, and in the corners I'll add some and then blend it out with the warmth of my finger, and that's just going to create some interest in those little spaces. See that little pop of blue? So I'm going to do some there and there and there. Every time there's a little corner point, I'm going to put some neo color and just give it some little pops. Well, I hope you like this little tutorial here on using this FaceUp sheet, the new one that's going to be listed in the Etsy shop. It's steampunk and not so steampunk. I hope you enjoyed this. This part of the tutorial was showing how they're not just steampunk FaceUps and how to use them in a regular art journal. And I created my cute characters, and this one I added some bird feathers. My little finches shed their feathers, and I added a little gem in her hat with the feathers and some smoke coming out of her cigar. And then there's just doodling and stuff in the background, and I think it turned out really fun. And the last things I always do to my page is either to mist spray it with matte fixative spray, and I also use Gamblin cold wax. So I put a little bit of this on my finger, I rub it all over with a soft cloth, and it keeps your pages from sticking together if you've got glue and things like glossy accents. I've got some here, some glossy accents, and on the watch face. It keeps it from sticking. And then the very last thing I always do is to date stamp and stamp the date on my pages. I just think it's fun to be able to go back through your journal and see what the date was for when you created this. One thing that does is to see down the road after you've been arting for a while how much your artwork progresses and changes. So it's just something fun that I've always done, is to date my page. So grab a magazine and find some fun images to use, the bodies and things to make some fun characters in your art journal. And there's a link in the description box for the FaceUp sheet. The previous FaceUp sheets that I've done, if you haven't seen those yet, they're really fun. And I've shown lots of ways, like in this book, for how I've used the FaceUps. And the other products that I've used and love will be in the description box, the links for those products. I love doing this type of art journaling. I think it's my favorite. It was originally inspired by Tisha Moore. I used to watch a lot of her videos and I loved her style, and I kind of just made it my own and I do my own thing with it, but that's what got me into loving this style of art journaling. So I hope you have fun with the FaceUps, and the next video is going to be showing that same FaceUps collage sheet doing steampunk characters and in my steampunk journal. So stay tuned for the next video, and if you like steampunk, it'll be another fun video. So thanks for stopping by, and go make some art because art soothes the heart.